Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's solve the problem unique path 2. So this is a problem from the unique path series. There are two other problems, unique path 1 and unique path 3. I have already posted the videos on those two problem. And if you have already solved the unique path 1 problem, then this problem is very straightforward. Nothing much, just extra like stones are got added over here. So in this problem, given a grid of m cross n size, and the grid is cells are like either 1 or 0, 1 representing a stone which is this, and 0 representing is a empty space where robot can move, and robot is starting from this cell which is a top leftmost cell, and robot wants to reach at this bottom rightmost cell, and we need to find out how many such path robot can take, and we need to count and return that as an answer. So for this example 1, there is a 2 paths. So how? So robot has two options, either go to the rightward from the current cell if possible, or the downward from the current cell. So robot is this, so robot can go here. Then after reaching here, robot again has only one option, because robot cannot go in the this cell where is the stone. So robot will go over here rightward. Then from here robot can go downward, because going right it will go out of the grid, so it is not possible. Again taking another down step, robot will reach to the finish cell. So this is the last cell. So this is a one path. Second path, robot can first take the down step, then right step, then right step. So this is the another path. So total in this grid we have two paths. So we need to return 2 as the answer. So how we will solve this problem? So first of all, we will try to formulate the recursion solution of this problem. So let's see, if I write I is representing for the number of rows going from here, zeros to, and j is number of columns going from here. So if robot, let's say on any cell I comma j, if robot on any cell I comma j, then robot has two options. So this is j. Robot either go on to the I comma j plus 1, and robot can go to the I plus 1 comma j. So these are the two next cell robot can take, and these are the two different branches from the current cell robot can take. So we will sum them up for finding the total number of paths. So we will sum them. Now what are the base cases? So the first base case, when robot actually reach to the this cell. So this cell index will be, let's say, m cross n matrix. So this cell index will be m minus 1 and n minus 1. So the first base case will be if I is equals to m minus 1 and j is equals to n minus 1. If reach this place, then we will return 0 or 1 based on whether this place is empty or is there is a stone. If there is a stone, then we return there is no path, because there is no possible 0 path. If it is an empty space like 0 value, then we return 1. So this is the value. Now another base case, let at any point I comma j we encounter the stone like this. So if, let's say, if the grid is represented by a of I comma j, if a of I comma j is 1, then also we will return 0, like there is no more path from this. So we will return 0 straightforward. Otherwise we will call these two method and sum them up. But there is another base scenarios, like if robot reached into the last row, then robot can only go into the next column. There is no step can be taken downward. Similarly, when robot is in the last column, then only the step downward, no step can be taken on the rightward. So we will put these two more base cases. So overall 4 base cases, and final this is the recursive solution. So you can try to pause the video and write it the recursive solution yourself. So here is a code snippet. So I club these two base cases in the one, like by using OR condition, like when there is a stone, first we check the valid like I and j is within the grid or not. If it is within the grid, and if it is not this stone, we return a of I. So this is what I am doing JOR operation, because if a of I j 1, we need to return 0. If it is 0, then we need to return 1. So that's why I use the JOR. You can also use ternary operator or more if else condition. There is no hard rule. Similarly, the another base case, when robot is in the last row of the grid, just we will increment the column, and if robot is in the last column, we just increment the rows number, go downward down step, and otherwise we will sum them up both the step path, like taking a step downside and taking the step at rightward and sum them up. So we will get total number of paths. So this is the recursive solution. Now let's try to see what is is this recursive solution will be accepted or not, and what is the time complexity of this. So if you see, we have this grid, and in this grid at any point I comma j index, we have two options. So at every point we are taking two choices. So the size of our grid is m cross n. So overall time complexity of our solution is 2 to the power m cross n. So this is the time complexity of our recursive solution. That many branches can be open. So that will be definitely timed out. So how we can save the time? So let's try to see if robot, like just I am using ij for representation and trying to formulate the recursion tree. So if we are at 0 comma 0, then we can go the 1 comma 0, or we can go to 0 comma 1, like in the same row but the next column, or the next row same columns. From here again I can go to the second row and the same column 0, and the grid side let's say 3 comma 3, like previous example same. Again from here I can either go into the next column of this. So this is 1 comma 1. Now from this as well I can come to the next row and 1 column 1 same column, and again I can go 0th row and second column. So this is, if you see clearly, we have repeated sub problem in this recursion tree. So whenever we have repeated sub problem, and also this problem has repeated substructure property, as we are building a solution of a small sub problem and then keep enhancing it to get the solution of bigger problem. So we can apply the dynamic programming. So for this recursive solution, what we need to do, we just like this, I put it here. So let's write here. So we will cache the solution of the smaller sub problem either into a hash map or into a 2D array. So in hash map, if you are storing caching, then use the key as a string and value as an integer, which is representing a count of this, and this key we will construct from I appended with string of I appended with some delimiter, and then append j. So this is the one way to store this solution of this in the cache, and we can also store into the 2D array. So let me show here. I copied already the recursive code, but let's show how we can cache using an integer 2D array. So first let me declare a dp array of 2D array dp, and then initialize this dp array with the size is same as the our grid size. So integer a dot length comma a of 0 dot length. So this is what we initialize the dp. Now before calling here, we will check if dp of I comma j, if this is not null, which means we already calculated this sub problem, we will return from here itself dp of I comma j. So that's it. Otherwise, if it is not previously calculated, we will calculate it and store in our dp array as well, and then return it, like everywhere I am putting. So this is what I did. I cached the solution of the recursive code. Let's try to submit this code, and it got accepted. So now what is the time complexity of this top down dp approach? Is like we are going through all the cells in our grid, so which is m cross n. So this is O of mn. The time complexity of this solution is O of mn, as well as space complexity is same. So this is a top down dp approach. So let's try to formulate now how we will solve in bottom up approach. So in bottom approach is very straightforward. What we can do, first of all, we will create a 2D dp array of integer dp array, and then again start looping from the for I from 0 to number of columns m. Similarly internally for j from 0 to number of columns minus number of columns n. Then we check if it is I and j both is 0 at this cell, then we fill dp the value of I comma j is based on whether it is stone or not. If it is not stone, we will fill 1. If it is stone, we will fill 0. And the same like recursion, this step, same base like condition we will follow in our bottom up approach here. So if I is 0, In that case, we will fill dp of I comma j, dp of I comma j is based on whether it is Ston or not, that condition we will put, and it will be 0 if it is Ston. If it is Ston, then we add 0, otherwise we will add dp of I comma j minus 1, j minus 1. Similarly, when j is 0, which means we are in 0th column, then we just add, instead of here we use dp of I minus 1 and j is the same. And the third case is like dp of, we sum them, dp of I minus 1 comma j plus dp of j comma I minus 1. So, this is a bottom up approach solution. You can pause the video and try to code yourself. So, here is a code snippet of the bottom up approach. So, I created a 2D array, and then what I explained, all we put, like first check the first cell when the where the robot is starting, and based on the value on this grid, if it is 1 we will fill 0, if it is 0 we will fill 1. Similarly, rest of the case we will check if it is in the first row, which means 0th row, we just update based on the previous column values, and if it is only 0, if it is 1, then we will straightforward blocker, we cannot move cross that Ston. So, this is a bottom up approach solution. Now, the time complexity and space complexity of this solution is also still O of mn. If let us say interviewer want you to do in constant space, but for that constant space you need to ask whether we can update the input array or not. If we can update the input array, then instead of creating separate 2D array, we just update this array A itself here, like everywhere represent wherever dp, just replace it with the array A. Then this solution will be time complexity O of mn and the space complexity is O of 1, as we are using the, but this only when update of input is allowed.